Hey, Scott. We're live.
Hey
So,
Ellis,
what are you up to there?
I am done with chapter two of the Black Cricket, and I realized I've not scanned any of the pages in yet.
That can be a hassle. I'm trying to stay even with my scanning chores.
Yeah,
Chores.
it's not too bad. I have a system down sort of, and I switched midstream. Well, that doesn't look very good.
The
Um,
scan.
yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine. So mid screen, I midstream I changed page size, so I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, you just upres it in Photoshop.
Yeah,
Photoshop
it's
does a
not
good
that.
job upresing.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal, so I'm not overly worried about it. Let's see. Anyway, so what I'm doing, one thing I'm doing is I scan it, and my scans come out a little bit light, so I'm duplicating the layer and making it multiply,
Uh huh.
so it comes out a little bit darker. I like that a little bit darker look. So one panel here is a little bit light.
But this is all just a handoff to an inker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have to worry about it too much, other than I just want him to get something decent. And we have a new
Well,
ink.
yeah, and you wanna have something you like looking at.
Sure. And we do have a new inker. Um, I forget what his name is. Not Kevin. Kevin was the old inker. Let's see what his name is. I'll find it on Facebook. Um, well, I can't find his name. I'm sorry.
Well,
Anyway, uh, I went. Oh wait, maybe it's here. Maybe it's got credit.
how long's he been inking? Do you know?
A long time, but not for me. Jeff Austin is his name, and he's done. And when Kevin posted the pages, or he's done a couple pages, I think. There were several people that were like, "Oh, okay." I don't know if they knew him uh, or not, or what that was all about, but there seemed to be some recognition. So that's always
That's
good.
cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always good.
that's always good. Um,
Yeah,
sorry.
I've decided my future in YouTube is probably going to be based on something easy to do, which is top 10 lists. For instance,
Oh yeah.
Ellis's favorite, or Ellis, quit even thinking about favorite, Ellis's top 10 favorite moments in Dead Man, say, the movie. I was
Oh
just
yeah.
thinking, I don't know why I was thinking of that movie the other day. I guess I was thinking about Lance Hendricks and his image swam up somewhere, and I thought of him eating
Oh yeah.
a hand, and somebody that used to be somebody he supposedly was partnered with, and he was actually devouring them
Oh geez.
over a campfire. You know, I think it was the last guy, and his one guy he just shot in the back of the head just because he was tired of. Oh yeah, he just gave a random insult to him, and so he shot his partner in the back of the head. His other partners like looking at him saying, "Well, I don't know if that was called for."
Yeah, no kidding.
As the next partner, you're thinking,
Yeah, where's this in?
when does it happen for me? And later on, he's actually devoured,
Geez.
or it's implied, or maybe he just likes. It's just like liking wings. When you take that
Yeah.
rotisserie chicken, maybe he only likes the
Well,
hand.
maybe it's like like I always say about, there's in Oklahoma, you're allowed to open carry.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say a lot of people open carry just because they like being intimidating. So maybe maybe it was an act of intimidation. He's not really a cannibal.
Yeah, you get somebody that was somebody that likes confrontation and drama, and get somebody to come up and start fighting you over your pistol. You'll have some intimidation going on.
I think open carry is a terrible idea. I would not want anybody to know if I was carrying a pistol.
Yeah.
For good or bad.
But I guess the point is that open carry is like, oh well, yeah, you got a pistol, you're okay.
Yeah.
I may need you over here, maybe.
Well, I think that is part of the idea.
You with a pistol, shoot that guy.
Yeah. Like, no, shoot him yourself.
Yeah. Hey.
There's too many repercussions.
Get your own gun.
Exactly. Do your own dirty work.
I'm drawing a little bit of what's his name? Darwin Cook a little bit. You guys caused me to look all over the place for the New Frontiers, and I found it, and I got some nice PDFs out of it, and still haven't read them. I got to do that. Got to read these things. Speaking of, I was going to make this particular one instead of our little joke title, which relates to Joe Biden's latest discovery of he's going to be getting all kinds of pressure, or somebody's going to get a lot of pressure of like, hey, we want to see all of these Robert L. Peters emails.
Oh yeah.
And of course, because you would just want that. But so I made the top 10 list based on that name just to see how many hits we'd get. But hey, there's Dan. I forget what my point was.
You were talking about Robert L. Peters.
Yeah, I know, but I forgotten
where
I was headed. Yeah, New Frontier rocks. You will love it, Ellis. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. So you have not bought the book. You just had the
No, I've just had I've got all the PDFs that I think that you mostly have, but then Barry came along and said that there was some sort of special thing put out that I didn't have, that he still supplied me with a link for it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it was. I just got the proportions wrong, but even getting this wrong, it still looks great because I'm close on copying Cook's stuff. Oh, I just smeared it all over the place. That's great.
Well,
I love it.
When I was at the show, I found that book and I thought I immediately was into looking for a second volume because I knew if you would want it.
Well, cool. I appreciate you making the effort. It's it's enough to have it in PDFs, but there is just something about like recently.
God, it's a nice book. I mean,
Mike Miller had a milestone of completing his Lone Star book, and he satisfied all the people waiting on their PDFs and sent us links and all that. And I got mine, but he's like any creator. He wants everybody to read it and react to it.
Oh yeah.
Well, these PDFs, I just hate reading PDFs.
Got it too.
So it's like, I would just want a PDF for art ref, which, that
yeah,
Mike's stuff has got an awful lot of great art ref in it. But, for reading, I'd want a book. I just.
Well, yeah. If there's a hardcover coming out later, I'm going to read. I haven't finished. I need to finish that soft cover, the one I bought. But if I finish it and I decide to pull the trigger on the hardcover, I may pass along my soft cover to you.
Oh well, don't worry about it. I'm plenty satisfied with these PDFs because like I say, I'm not too hip to reading in general. Even though my library is actually kind of like forcing me to hurry up and read something because I wasn't able to extend the the loan,
Oh yeah.
and it's because somebody's waiting for it. Somebody's
Yep.
crowding me on an old paperback. Hey, wait a second. Let's catch up with Dan here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I need to watch the comments since I'm not.
Speaking
Oh,
of, did you? Oh, here you go. This is for you.
Oh gosh, he is commenting.
Speaking, did you read the latest script, Scott?
Yes. Yes.
Did you like it? What'd you think?
Yes.
Got to know.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I liked it. I was so I am off work because yesterday was my birthday, and so I took off Thursday and Friday this week, and I was going to finish up the last bit of chapter 2 of Black Cricket, and then I was going to read the script and do notes, and I got a call saying my dentist had an opening because I have a cracked tooth, and so I went in to get my cracked tooth repaired this afternoon instead of working on that. So that is where that is at.
Do they use 2-part resin on that, or what do they do?
No, I got a crown, or I'm gonna get a crown.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be funny if I used 2-part resin.
It would be funny.
Probably be a little hot.
Well, they got the glue for the temporary crown got a little warm.
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, it does set. It does kick.
I tell you what, at work, the resin, we pour resins in our silicone molds. It'll destroy the molds after a certain number of pours. They can only get about, about between 50 and 100 pours out of a mold.
You think it's the heat that causes? Well,
Yep.
Silicone's so tough, but you mean
the resin gets hot and it
really hot
breaks down the silicone. So yes, it is definitely.
Take your time. Take care of your health first. Oh yeah.
Well,
anybody not taking care of their health first is gonna come up short at some point. I
was scared to death that I would break that tooth and then I'd lose it because it had a crack in it, but it was just a surface crack. So he ground it down a little bit, ground down my tooth, and I'm getting a new one, or not a new tooth, but a crown, which is infinitely better than a bridge or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
quasi-permanent. You can't lose them if you're not careful. It'll make you rethink everything you eat. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I'm able to afford dentists and all that jazz. So, and I'm glad I still have all my teeth. So.
That's pretty good. I used to go that route and had crowns and everything like that when I had the video game
money, insurance.
Yeah, insurance is the only time I think anybody takes care of their teeth is when they can just say, okay, yeah, I'll use my insurance.
I'm going to take care of mine anyway, but. Yeah.
Well, I say the only time anybody takes care of their teeth is when they got the money to take care of their teeth.
Oh, yes. Let's see.
That's why so many people have bad teeth that are poor.
Yes. I've been poor and I've been not poor. Being not poor is definitely better.
Oh, yeah.
But, also, so at work, I have advanced through the ranks, if you want to put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized that, it's not really, there's not a whole lot that I need. I say as a guy whose house is paid off, his car's paid off and all that jazz. Mm-hmm. But you think about, I'm not somebody that retires and is like, I'm gonna buy an RV and travel the world or a sailboat or something like that. So I could exist, I could exist on pretty slim pickings if I had to. But it's definitely better if you don't have to. I'll be the first to admit
Oh
that.
yeah, it's nice to have a little what do you call it?
Little
Expe-
walking around money, as I call it.
yeah. Disposable income.
Yeah, I mean I mean,
Put
you
a
know,
little, throw it in the fire. I don't need it.
well, it's
Okay.
nice to go to a comic show and go, oh, you know what? I do want the New Frontier
Deluxe
trade.
edition.
I don't have to worry about. Am I gonna?
Yeah.
What do I need to sacrifice to get this?
Yeah.
But as I was so on my podcast, I was talking to Dave last week, and I said, because we were talking about how many books we have and that sort of thing, and I said, I do have a lot of books, but in some ways, well, his question to me was, could you pare it down to like 100? And I said, well, it would be hard, but I could. And I told him in some ways I enjoyed it back in the day, like when my wife and I first got married. I only had about 3 graphic novels. All my comics were at my parents' house, and I only had about 3 graphic novels. I think this page looks really good, by the way.
His what?
I think this page looks pretty good. This page.
All right, excellent.
The one I'm scanning. But I mean, there is kind of this thing where you get so much stuff that it just kind of overwhelms you. You don't get to read it. I mean, like you were talking about reading that book, the library book.
Yeah, I mean, if you aren't, if you got books, they're made for reading. They're, and of course, I tended to buy a whole lot of books that were, just all about the artists.
Right.
In terms of like showing great work or great life's achievements. A lot of them were kind of like of dead artists, that just happen to no longer be around.
Well, I mean, a perfect example is I have a huge book that's got everything that Michelangelo's ever done in it, or that they know of. And it's on my shelf, and it's huge, and so it sits on my shelf, and it's sideways. And I probably read it the day I bought it. I probably haven't read it since then.
Oh, sure, no, yeah, that's the deal. Revisiting things is
So,
guy should do it. But what is great is to go to your collection and start, pulling them out by the spine, breezing through a quick look and realizing, man, damn, this guy's got some fine selections, because it is just your taste, that you that is all those books amount to. It's like, wow, yeah, I really remember how much I wanted this one.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. He just said all the Black Cricket page looks superb. Thank you. Right now, something I'm doing along these lines, Ellis, is I am buying they're putting out all this old Marvel stuff as these epic collections. They're kind of like the essentials, but it's less books, and they're color, and the price is about double. Well, I'm buying all the X-Men stuff that I read when I was a kid, and it's like, there's like 3 volumes in particular, and I kind of waffled on getting them because I have them in different, in the essentials and some other stuff. But I was like, you know what? I don't want everything, but it's something that I read as a kid, and I'll reread these forever, So,
This guy that the library is forcing me to read too quick is named John Kellerman. Yeah, I think that's the name. And he's a really good police procedural character that has a series called Alex Delaware, who happens to be a psychiatrist that hangs around on special assignments that this one detective, Milo, calls him in on, that he thinks requires maybe a look about understanding of human nature. And so we go along with this idea that we're getting some special insights into how human beings think and everything with these kind of really interesting crimes and stuff. And so, it's really good writing. And because the guy is an actual psychiatrist who happens to, write stuff. And, they're pretty good books. And but what I've done to myself is that I've got one on audio book right now that I'm listening to in the car that is some of his work. John Kellerman, what's that one called? That's called, oh boy, I can't think of it. It's about a trust fund baby that is killed, and there's two. There's the mystery is who killed him. Was it people that he was a photographer, just a kind of a spoiled guy, but a guy that everybody loved because he had a sweet kind of heart, and he brought in. And this is funny because Esquire had something like this. They brought in street people and then dressed them really nice.
Yeah.
And so you saw that the clothes do make the man. You can dress, you can dress somebody that doesn't have any teeth in something really nice. Put a big old crystal tumbler of nice booze in his hand, and he looks like he's, he looks like he's got $1 billion. There's something special about rereading the stories that shape your childhood. Yes, anything that is strict, straight from a certain time. Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite books was a book that we read like in 3rd grade.
Ricky Tikki Tavi.
No. It's called From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. And it's about these two brother and sister that run away from home, and they hide out in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I just thought when I was a kid, I thought it was cool. And
yeah, there is that stuff that says, "Oh, I remember, how this touched me." And like Dan is saying, it by touching that exact point, it's like when a surgeon is operating on your brain and touching certain parts. You have the exact smell and the memory of this and that comes back to life.
Well, that's how those, I mentioned I picked up, that's how those X-Men comics are. Even though I'm collecting, I'm not quite up to where I started buying them, but it's when the new X-Men came along, and anyway, but I'm looking forward to. I've been reading that, and I've been talking about it on the podcast, which is nice,
Well, I discovered these backing boards. If you draw on this with a Muji pen, don't expect the things to dry or something. Something's wrong.
No. You're not drawing on the slick side, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, I would very quickly realize that.
I was hoping that you did.
No, that didn't set up. Well, I guess it was.
The Muji. Well, the Muji pens will stay wet on a lot of stuff for a long time.
Yeah, it must be it. It's like I'm just smearing them all over the place. Well, I've done a study of that particular face. I tell you what, he does things.
A nice looking face, Ellis.
Oh yeah. It's just such a cool little frame where she's leaning in. It's a candlelight dinner, and she's lit with just like a couple of bands, and the bands that go across her face are just so simple.
Oh yeah.
The bands of lighting.
Speaking of tomorrow, I'm planning on going downtown really, really early before it gets hot, because it's supposed to be hot.
Oh, it's
and
taking
some measurements on the tunnel. I'm committed to. I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to making the mural, but I'm committed to getting a good pitch, so that I
have it researched. Yeah.
And so I want it to be. I'm committed to doing all the preliminary drawings. We'll see.
I will just switch to some sort of other paper, maybe. If I got some, let me check. Yeah, this will work better. see what Dan's been saying. Got about 3 we haven't caught up with. The best is when you can reread original books.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean,
the smell of newsprint is the best. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I still love I think the best smelling comics I have are the Kirby Fourth World books.
Perfume makers need to find a way to bottle that scent. Yeah, that reminds me of that book, Perfume. I guess there's a way to get a scent if you can figure it out. I always recommend this book because I don't know. To me, the book came alive as I read it, and I decided the main secret was something that anybody trying to write can use, which is to be aware that if you're really good at evoking the senses, and especially as regards the sense of smell, you're going to involve the reader on a level that maybe they just ordinarily wouldn't be involved. And that book, Perfume, is excellent at evoking that. Of course, it would be if it, did its job.
Right.
And so all the way through it, you're reading about scents.
Me. What is that intoxicating smell?
Yes.
I don't think I convinced Mrs. Sackett to smell like an old comic book.
Yeah.
But at the tricker.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to. To me, the smelled bottle would be the smell of just having suntan lotion on and out and about at the beach.
Yeah.
Figure that out, and that's a great smell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hot flesh with suntan oil on it. That'd be primal, Oh, I was watching before this earlier in the evening. I was watching Hoffman. Mike Hoffman.
Oh yeah, he's
doing a lot more drawing, showing you quick little tips. And I don't know how much traffic he's starting to drive to his channel by doing that, but it's a good idea for him to do that. They're real simple little quick tips where he's actually just holding the phone as he makes a little point about the Amazing Spider-Man number 14. Marry me. Yeah. That's what you smell like.
Specific issue. He wants that Ditko scent.
Yeah, the Ditko scent. Yeah, they might be slightly different. I remember you talk about associations and stuff like that. I was reading a Thor where he was fighting the radioactive man, and I was reading it in the back of a car, and the process of reading that comic book made me nauseous. And the color of radioactive man, I could hardly look at that color for quite a while.
You're colorblind.
Yeah, well, that particular way, that color that is as it came through in the that color choice in that comic book for that character, and I think it was a green. It might not have been a green, but that particular comic book would always make me slightly ill to look at that color. And and the deal was it the color making me? Was that what I associated with it? Just because I was getting ill reading it in the back of the car.
I've got myself. I don't get car sick, but I have. I remember going with my in-laws to Arkansas one time and driving through the winding hills.
Oh, that'll get you, yeah.
And I was reading in the back, and they had a two-door Oldsmobile Torino or something. It was one of these big luxury kind of cars that had a crazy kind of suspension.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it made me car sick. I don't like being in the backseat of a two-door car anyway, but especially for a long trip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awful. Of course, just long car trips. I'm trying to visualize ever being on a long car trip again. Probably not ever happening again in my life. I don't have a car that's built for it anymore, and I doubt if I'll jump into too many cars knowing there's a long car trip ahead of me.
Well, I just went to our Princeton plant, and that was a
long trip.
Yeah, 11, 12-hour drive. I did not drive.
It's ditko-rific. Yeah.
Michelle and I are talking about going to Florida again, maybe next couple months.
Okay, I'll come.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll go. I changed my mind.
Change my mind.
I can't hardly get you to leave your house, period.
Yeah. It's best here. Oh, did you get that thing I sent you? That attachment that showed that weird place, the VA hall? I bet you didn't get that, did you?
If I got it, I didn't see it.
You didn't notice that thing? Well, it's 19 meg.
Oh, I got that email. It's by the park where you walk.
Yes.
What was I saw you saying it, but what was the attachment?
Oh,
Was
you
the link to the.
Was it? Were you too scared to open it? I don't blame you. Somebody.
Well, no. I looked at it on my phone, and I didn't click on it. When did you send that? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, wasn't it?
I guess it was yesterday. Yeah.
What was the attachment?
Well, the attachment was just what you get from a real estate agent, showing various photos of the building and the lot and information about it. So you've been the early wine, of course, many times yourself.
Not many times, a couple times.
Oh, just a couple times. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I went to test for Taekwondo, and it's literally the only time I've been there.
Okay. Well, then it may not have made an impression on you. It may not have been the side you approached on. So there's a little blue barn-like building. It's got zero interest. It's just, as far as architecture goes, it's practically Wild West. It's just a V-shaped roof and goes on barn size for a while. It's as simple as it can be. But the whole thing, the whole package, the 6 acres it comes on, they're wanting about $2 million for it. And it, to me, that'd be just perfect. A big old barn-sized place that was just totally simple, wide open floor plan, and I don't know. It was 6 acres.
I think you're more enamored with the place than but I haven't seen it, so I'm not the right.
Yeah, and it obviously didn't make an impression on you. So.
Yeah, but I didn't see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it may not have been on your approach side. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I went there, it was dark.
Okay. That would explain understand. I thought you were very familiar with that area. So
not at all.
Okay.
No, I mean, other than, like I said, I went there to
yeah. Weren't there every day swimming or anything like that?
I don't know. I just went there for my Taekwondo test. Which, speaking of, I think I'm going to start Taekwondo again. The guy at my work that's doing it.
Yeah, the paper is totally the difference. I'm just now, I've done a drawing on this index card, just went right in, set up, just fine. But that other stuff, that backing board, which feels like the surface of an index card, but it just doesn't go in.
Yeah. Yeah, those backing boards, it depends on the different ones too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably would be ahead of the game to just forget I ever bought that big pack of. No, I've got a ream of it. I'm going to use it for something or other.
Of what, backing boards?
Yeah. I forget how many I bought, 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought they'd be great to paint on. And they're all right, but it's probably not good material to paint on. As far as passing them on, selling them.
Oh yeah, you might want something a little bit heavier. I don't know. illustration board or
Yeah.
or I don't know.
No.
I don't know if
better,
they do they still make illustration board? I guess they do.
Sure, I'm sure
God,
they
in
do.
school we did everything on illustration board.
Yeah, it's not a bad habit. I mean, Frazetta used illustration board often for some of his projects. He used masonite a lot. Of course, that is a nice big
Oh yeah,
sturdy surface. His early, some of his early stuff, he's working so small. It's just amazing to me that anybody can work in oil and produce what he produces. There's a great loss to us all that we just don't have a clear education on Frazetta's process. He could have taught us so much if he was in this current age. He could have set us all down with, and he would have been on YouTube. He could, because can you imagine the traffic a Frazetta channel would have? I'd be there every night, for whatever he was up to.
What's that wacky Frazetta up to?
Mm-hmm. Just do some drawing for us, Frank.
Well,
of course, after the stroke and all that, huh?
I think if that were the case, there would be a lot of people out there who try and emulate him. And as it is, there's only a few, but they figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the next best thing you can get to is the watching. What's his name? Is it Mike Hoffman or Matt? It's Mike Hoffman. Watch Mike Hoffman's page.
Well, it is very interesting to watch Mike go from just the bare bonus, kind of like armature mannequin, and just right on the top of it, instantly lay in something that is very, very pleasing, very got a lot of appeal and everything like that. He's very good at doing that. But he also revealed some process. He dropped his something out of his lap, which revealed the process that he was just like holding his iPhone.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm doing this with no reference.
Yeah, doing it one-handed is another thing. It's like, hey, that takes some skill to give us so much instruction with just one hand with your pencil. But he also traces up. He'll do something where he probably is Xeroxing nice little sketches like this. Where I do also find it. I'll do something with a lot more gesture if I'm working small, then blow that up, and then do a light table. Then with the calligraphy that says, okay, this is now a finished drawing.
So I've reduced the size I draw my pages. I'm now drawing my comic pages 80% of large of the size. I'm not doing 11 by 17. I'm doing 80% of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes faster, and I kind of like the way they look a little bit better.
I
don't know if I ink them that size, and I blow them up. That's part of what I'm doing right now is blowing them up as I send them the inker. But it seems to go a little bit faster for me.
Oh yeah.
Which it's not. I'm still drawing the same number of lines.
Mm-hmm.
This page I really like.
Let's see it. Oh, well, let me solo you. Let's try that.
Let me resize it. This is the one. I think I was working on this during the show.
Okay. Okay. Well, I do have this alternative. I can make you bigger this way. There we go. How about that? Yeah.
Is it bigger?
Yeah, it's bigger now.
But I like the.
Yeah, show all of them right now. Go ahead and go through your thumbnails.
Hang on, I'm almost done.
Okay. Oh, you're almost in. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scanning them.
That's cool.
Oh, crap.
Are you okay? You sound like you got a little.
I don't know what. I'm congested. No, I accidentally added it. I hit the wrong button and added a layer. That's why I said, "Oh crap."
Oh yeah, you got to watch some of that Photoshop stuff that'll
Oops, I don't want that one. I want.
do this or that to you.
Well, and I'm doing this, and this is fairly repetitive what I'm doing right now. But you got to. But if you don't do something right, which I'm pretty good at, because I do a lot of stuff at work like this. Is that what I'm on? Yeah, page 9. You just want to make sure
Dan says great. Yeah, I don't even think I've produced any product tonight that I'll be sharing on my miscellaneous Tumblr and all that.
What?
Well, I haven't really drawn much. I've copied, my Darwin. Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
And my other brother, Daryl.
Oh, yeah. I love Bob Newhart.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying. Hang on, I got three more pages.
That guy's.
We got plenty of time.
Oh yeah.
I might go in and do some Photoshop tricks on some of these.
Sure.
That's the whole point. I did it. There's a panel where guys watching TV, and rather than redraw the character, I'm going to use a panel I'm going to use a panel that already got drawn.
Go Doonesbury on it. Sure.
Well,
Doonesbury's made 2 drawings.
I'm going to use this panel. Yeah, well, I'm going to use this panel as part of the thing. So,
I don't even know if Doonesbury's still around. Scott Adams making a point, since he got canceled by saying get out of cities for ethnic reasons, and got all his newspapers dropped him. And it's like there couldn't be anybody that could care less more than Scott Adams about the fact that a dying medium has finally canceled him because
How many papers could he have had left at this point?
I don't know. He already had his FU money, and when they finally decided to cancel him, it's like, hey, that's what this money's for.
Yeah.
Give him the big middle finger and say, it was nice. Thanks for all the fish.
If you can bank $1 million, you'll make about, depending on how you invest it, you can put it in like a money market fund. It'll draw about $3,000 in interest every month.
Wow. Well, yeah. You know what? There are some stuff that, and some people complain about it because there was, obviously corruption at the heart of why these things were yielding so much. They were, a certain class of people obviously were buying.
Right. Not everybody put $1 million in it.
Exactly. And so it was a way just to almost like, manufacture money. And I don't know if they still are paying that big, but
sure. Oh, absolutely.
They are still paying that big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, it's gotten better. It's because interest rates have gone up.
What about? Is that? Yeah, that's part of the big key. What about focusing on black cricket in that panel? I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Dan. We've probably gone.
You'll see here in a second. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to that page. Let me. So what I've done is I have a Photoshop file that's got my, because I could just use the thing, but I like having the marks and I like having the page, even though somebody has to delete this at some point, but I like having the page numbers on them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, that's good. That's
yeah, I mean,
it's a way to always have it be a story to you, to have
sequential thinking. If something gets out of sync in the process, it's a lot easier to figure out if you got page numbers on it.
Now, I think we've already had this discussion. You have no history of any Yellowstone viewing, right?
Yes, that is correct.
That is correct. I finished season 4 last night. Now I'm 30th in line for season 5, the first half.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be a while, don't you think?
I believe
30th.
So. I believe so. Well, and the library. Here's something else you got to remember: the library does not charge late fees.
Yeah. So
So,
people using their max 21 days or whatever they've got.
oh,
Yeah, it'll be a
well,
while.
and then some.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know.
Because
I
there's
would
no,
assume
there's no.
I would assume that they aren't allowing renewal on it though. I would hope.
Well, if no. But what I'm saying is, if they don't return it in 21 days, that there's no penalty.
Yeah, no penalty. Yeah, it's like, oh,
So they can keep it till they're done with it. I
yeah.
was trying to check out a book, and somebody kept it for like 3 months. Now, what
Mhm.
they'll do is they'll put a hold on your account so you can't check out anything else.
Say, yeah. So you'll be in touch with them at any rate, saying, "Hey,
Right, theoretically.
why won't you give me any new books?"
I need some new books. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it causes you to study stuff a little more closely. Now you might enjoy the stuff less though. When you binge like that,
Oh, yeah.
you kind of see the the seams and the just being too close to the stage at a ballet basically is what goes on there.
I'm not a huge fan of binging stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
And flip the image so it looks like him in action from a different angle. Flip the image. I'm not sure. So it looks different, but you don't have to redraw it. I'm not sure what era. I mean, what
well, you're getting
what
ready.
pages he's
You're getting ready to
referring.
see. You get ready to see.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the page. See, there's a television screen here,
Okay.
and so
I like people thinking, oh, she's got some. Oh, I got to draw that face.
oops. Oh. So I'm going to use that panel right here. But I need to figure out. See, so I was going to just use the. So what Dan is saying is flip it. Let me see if it'll flip. Let me see what it looks like flipped. Let's see.
It's gotta remain in your perspective grid.
Well, that works. I'm good with that.
Yeah, these little faces of Darwin Cooks are just such little genius marks.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of PDFs of Catwoman that Cook did,
Oh yeah.
and at the halfway point they switch artists on you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't
He
know
only
that when I
does-
bought it.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of it, or he doesn't do all of it. Let's put it that way.
I've actually met the guy that did most of it, Brad Rader. He was a guy that was kind of art directing on Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys when I did a little freelance for him. Oh, you probably never even heard of that comic or that cartoon, have you? Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys. I actually did some storyboards for it.
That's something, Ellis.
Yeah, I can say that. I also met him at a CAPS, the Cartoonist Association that met in L.A. There was also a chapter in San Diego. They were, they're the kind of people, cartoonists. I don't know if they're still like that, but they used to be. They didn't have social media. If you wanted to get together with some guy and have a drink or whatever, just talk about cartoons and the biz, you had to get together. You had to take a drive and show up someplace, fight traffic.
Well, in LA at least.
Yeah. I remember, I was so, when I first arrived there in San Diego, Sheldorf took me under his wing for a couple things. I told you he took me to see Forey Ackerman's place in L.A. and we also went to one of those CAP meetings and that night, the guy doing the big presentation, because they always try to have some sort of event. Oh, Jerry Doyle was great in that role. Yeah. Oh, hell, look at that. Yeah, look, I've got a fan. He says, Jerry Doyle. Yeah, you're right. The voice talent in that was Jerry Doyle. Ellis, that is awesome. See that? That is awesome that I worked on Captain Simeon. Dude, I loved Captain Simeon. Yeah, that's right.
So you probably didn't see this because you're not on Facebook, but I didn't go to work today, which we talked about. But so last night I stayed up late and watched Forbidden Planet. I've never seen Forbidden Planet.
You've never seen Forbidden Planet?
No, and
how cool!
I have it on DVD. I have a great DVD set that has A Thing from Another World, Forbidden Planet, 20,000 miles to Earth, or 20,000.
Yeah, 20 million miles to Earth. Yeah, 20 million miles to Earth.
Something like that. It's got about 6 old classic science fiction movies on it, but I have never, son of a gun, I've never seen.
Well, that's cool. What is your impression of such a movie that was so innovative for its time?
I thought it was really good. Dan has said earlier that he thought it was like Star Trek, proto Star Trek, and I think it had a huge influence on the pilot. In fact, I had a conversation with somebody at work that's a huge Star Trek fan, which I am not. I was when I was a kid, but as I told them, I grew out of it. But I always thought the pilot would be the pilot episode of Star Trek. I wish they'd have done that as a series. See, okay, Dan, I hope this looks okay. This is what I'm going with.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See,
look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaping, that's a good choice if you reverse that bottom thing, because leaping from that edge of the screen into the page is better.
Yeah.
That's what was reversed. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was reversed.
Yeah. Well, that is an obvious choice to make, to have him leaping into the page. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy, I got this face all wrong. But like I say, due to the fact I'm copying the shapes, at least I get the notions of the pleasing shapes right. Almost. It's funny, you were just talking about Star Trek, and all of a sudden I got a semi-lightness to the green girl. I forget her name, and she's a real well thought of actress.
She's done a bunch of stuff because there's a documentary about her life.
Yes.
Which I haven't seen. It was on Prime for a while. And
she's one of those people who died way too young. Yeah. She's in a few biker movies. She was criminally underused, basically. She was in a lot of exploitation stuff, and she was always really good because she had that quality. It came through, when she was up to something, you felt the emotion. She was real good.
So
dumping it on you.
I
What?
think I need to make a change on the page I'm scanning, Ellis. I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Give it a second to scan in. I think I need to change the scale of the main character.
Let's see it. Now, when you say change the scale of the main character, do you mean your the actual proportions of the fellow, or
Well,
what?
no, I think she looks the main character in the panel. I drew her big, but I don't
Okay.
think I drew her big enough
Okay.
because
Well, I tell you that is the stuff that most often makes me want to say, "Hey, Scott, double check that."
well,
Is your measuring?
yeah,
Fairly often you.
well, you'll see when I tell you what I think I did and what I need to do. I think it's fixable in Photoshop, but I
Yeah.
think I drew her on the wrong horizon line, and so instead of being looking like she's in the foreground, she just looks like she's a giant. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there we go. Dan has filled me in. But Forbidden Planet, surely you think it is a classic. Susan Oliver is her name. Yes, that
Oh,
is
did you?
correct. She was on an Andy
Oh,
Griffith
yeah,
show.
she was on MASH. That's right, because I looked that up one time.
And it says she directed them.
Okay,
Directed the mashes.
Okay, so
Okay, go ahead.
See this girl right here?
Well, okay, let's see. Are you circling it or what? What girl?
On the well, let's see.
I know it's hard to point at. Can you? Does it show up when you take your little arrow and
Well,
do
hang
selection?
on.
Yeah, I can see your stuff show up on your screen. Use your arrow pointer, pusher, yeah, or your nudger.
Okay.
Don't ruin anything.
Right there.
Let me see. I'm not sure I'm seeing anything. Huh? I don't know. I wish I could solo you. Oh
Okay,
well.
hang on. Let me. I just cropped her out. See this?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that figure. Okay, yeah. Well,
I think.
I think the easiest way to
See,
do that exactly. Crop her by dropping her.
I think I need to drop her feet off the page.
Yeah, but don't unless enlarging her is probably a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make her a little bit bigger. I mean, because it doesn't hurt. She's the character's talking.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt, and it's not gonna cover up anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Don't dock my pay, Dan.
And the miss chemistry in the foreground.
Yeah.
He's what he's asking.
Yes. Wait. What did he? Yes, this is Miss Chemistry, but I think. Yeah, I need to.
Oh, I was telling my story about Sheldor. Okay, the guy that was there was the famous concept artist that did all the concept art for Conan. Oh, gosh. What's his name?
I don't know, but
yes. You'd know him at the moment. And now it's one of those annoying blanks. He also did a lot of the concept for The Thing. He was a friend of Plug's. What is his name? He did, but he was showing his concepts for. I'll have to tell you why I semi-irritated him, because he thought he had he thought of it himself.
Oh no!
In the Mars, the day, not the day Mars invaded Earth. What is that called? Invaders from Mars, the remake. Okay. Bill Stout. Thank you, Dan.
Oh,
Bill
there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Stout.
I know who you're talking about.
William Stout was there that night, and he showed us these great things, and including the concepts for the remake. The remake of Invaders from Mars with Karen Black. And I said, those creatures, that's a guy walking backwards, and his face is on the front. And he kind of like paused. Yeah, that's how it's done. It's like, he thought that was a magical cool thought because you got a cool dog. Yeah, a cool dog leg. Your knees would look like how a dog's, more like a big four-legged creature would move.
Okay, Ellis, look at this page. I'm gonna turn this off, and you tell me if you
Okay.
think it looks better this way or the. Okay, like this or like
Oh,
that.
Dan got to interview Film Facts. Oh, Stout has just been everywhere. I could kick myself for not going to some of his life drawing classes. I had a friend that knew that he had some regular life drawing classes in Pasadena. Go ahead.
This.
Yeah. Okay.
Or this.
Let's see. I much prefer the thing where she is obviously closer, and you need that anyway. You want that.
I need
you
the
want.
foreground.
Yeah, you need a foreground element
Okay.
like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
And yes to the mask. Well, I'm not sure what that.
Oh, is this? Yeah, we had a discussion today about the mask.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I just happened to. I didn't get her lips right, but the lips I got on this particular face of copying Darwin Cook just happened to look more like Susan Oliver's lips, and her eyes, of course, are those great under her lidded eyes that she.
Oh yeah, I never
was
thought about that.
Kind of famous for her look that way. Yeah, that came out kind of interesting. Who knows? Maybe.
Darwin
maybe.
Cook did kind of draws women like that.
Yeah. Oh, he was. I guess I've already praised Darwin Cook enough for the evening.
Nope.
He's so good. Oops, that's a little dark. Oh well.
Yeah, you make me want to read that.
Yeah.
Where's that book? New Frontier.
Yeah. Well, it's just pretty much black. That's a good job. I just blob black all over my detail. Okay, good job.
That happens.
Yeah. Maybe when I scan it, you can see through it. Sometimes that happens.
You can always touch it up. Touch it up. Just do what I do. Touch it up in Photoshop.
I turned her into Clara Bow now. Okay, that's good. Gosh, you're supposed to have black hair anyway.
Okay, I think I'm done scanning all this stuff.
Cool. Well, we're at 1 hour. How about that? Time
Okay,
just flew.
so here, you and me go through all the
Yeah, do that. Yeah, and yes to the mask. Bring it forward. Oh yeah, Dan's also voted for bring it forward. She would be away from the crowd for a call. Yeah. And plus, you want her to have a big hero moment right there.
Well, she's the villain, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that
Protagonist. Okay.
Yay.
There's page 1.
Okay. Let me. I'm going to figure this out here. We'll solo.
Okay, so when you're ready, I'll scan through
them. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm not going to touch it.
There's
go
page
ahead.
1, page 2.
Can't. Yeah, I was trying to think of a way you could get closer. Okay, that's all right.
4 and 5 are messed up. 5 is.
Well, it's looking great though in thumbnail 4, and plus if you got a big TV, I'm looking at a little bitty page. I'm devoting space to it. Probably looks big to anybody else.
I need to fix 5. I messed up 5 somehow.
Well, I got to say, congrats on getting this work done, and this is a cool collaborative thing that you two are doing. I dig it. The idea that you might get someone sold on the idea of a new comic character we can all be enjoying on a regular basis. That's cool.
Doubt. 9. Oops. Oh, what's it doing? 10. 11, 12. Something's going on with 5. Page 5. Let me see if the Photoshop is correct. I'm going to have to rescan it. That's the.
What's it doing to you?
Well, 5 and the JPEG for 5 and 6 were the same. Or, oh, yeah. Somehow I got the wrong.
Let me know if I added too many panels for chapter 3. I may have written more. I gave you some I gave you some 6-panel pages. Did you tell Ellis you got an inker? Yes, he did, but he forgot his name. What's his name?
No, I didn't. It's something Austin.
Oh yeah, he did say Austin.
Is it Jan? Jan? That doesn't sound right.
You looked him up. Yeah, that's right. You did.
Yeah, I looked him up. Yes, I did. Tell Ellis, even though he forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, so somehow in this I lost my scan for page 5. That's okay. Dan, I'm going to send these to you, but I probably won't send them all on one email. It's a lot of files.
His name is Jeff Austin.
Jeff.
And he's a vet of doing comic book inking. Cool.
Yeah, he had a lot of people that were like impressed with the samples he had done. So apparently people look at his art.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, that is pretty cool. Okay, anything else, Ellis? Are we done?
No. I guess just I'm happy you've seen. We have another thing that we can touch base on. The fantastic. What did you watch? Forbidden Planet.
Oh yeah. I think I'm going to watch Alphaville tonight, maybe.
Oh well, that's interesting. Haven't you've seen that before though, right?
Yes, and I have the Blu-ray that has an English language track.
I dig that you like that movie. Most people kind of bounce off of it and say,
"Oh, it's cool."
What was that about? No, it is cool because it's so
weird.
It's so low budget and yet so interesting at every turn. It's
I dig it a lot. It reminds me. It reminds me a lot. And it's a different movie, but it reminds me a lot of George Lucas's original THX 1138.
Yeah, sure. THX.
It's just kind of a. I mean, there's kind of a. I mean, it's a dystopian factor, but just the mood kind of.
Some indignant French guy said, "You mean it looks like a student film?"
Yes, it looks like a student film. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the budget was the same.
Yeah.
I know I scanned this page. I remember fixing this stupid dot.
That was that even an attempt at a French accent, Ellis? The entire world asks at once. Nope. I just had a line of dialogue that I wasn't capable of giving you any flavor to it. You did miss my perfect Leslie Nielsen joke setup, though. Yeah, I probably did. I probably, I mean, you need a little coordination on some of these comments and stuff like that when you want to really get the emphasis across. Yeah. Well, are we complete in terms of like?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, it was a good show, and I'm going to see if I've hoodwinked a whole bunch of traffic.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We got a lot of people. Until we got banned, then it would suck.
Yeah. We only got Dan hooked in.
Well, that's okay. No, we got one.
Surely you agree. Oh, yeah, surely you agree. Forbidden Planet.
Surely. Okay. Don't call me Shirley.
Yes, I do. Don't call me Shirley. Okay. We'll see you, Dan. Bye-bye. We're all tired of that joke. We'll see you. No, we aren't. It's a classic that will live on beyond its all time. Yeah.
Expiration date.
Yeah. Okay. Ending broadcast.